either deflects. Oh no! What I really meant was this: when you said vaccines you'll never trust a vaccine. What did you mean? Well, it meant that I really trust vaccines under certain circumstances, or he just outright lies.
Didn't he vaccinate his children?
I'm sorry. He vaccinated his kids. He said, while he was telling people that there's no such thing as a safe vaccine, and autism and dangerous. And he talked about at one point vaccines aren't tested enough. They haven't been around long enough, like polio, 1953, and I don't know how many hundreds of millions of kids and adults were vaccinated. I wonder what he would say about aspirin today. Aspirin's been around since the 1870s, I think, 1880s. I wonder if we've tested that one enough.
Wow, stomach bleeding.
Yeah. So I'm going to do more about this at 8:30. And then there was, and I'm going to tease you a little bit, there was a comment made by a Republican senator that stunned me. I mean, I was just floored. All right, let's move on.
Gitmo is going to get crowded. President Trump has signed a memo directing the federal government to prepare the U.S. naval base at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, to take in tens of thousands of illegal immigrants. Most people, he said, don't even know about it, but we have 30,000 beds at Guantanamo to detain the worst criminal illegal aliens threatening American people.
Do you know the story of Gitmo? It's fascinating stuff. It was at the end of the Spanish-American War. The United States cut a deal, a lease with Cuba for Gitmo in perpetuity. And the original cost of the lease was $4,000 per year. It has never changed. Originally, it was with gold, and now the government every year pays Cuba $4,000 a year in a check, basically, an attempt to wire. Since Castro, Cuba has refused to take the money. So there goes $4,000. They say no, and we still get Gitmo because they're the ones that are breaching. They won't take the money. So legally, it's like any tenant submitting the money, and the landlord says, no, I'm not taking it. Well, you can't be thrown out on that one. There's Gitmo for you. It's a U.S. base. What?
How weird. They can't boot us out.
Well, I mean, theoretically they could, but are they going to, is Cuba going to invade
right,
and go to war with American forces in Guantanamo Bay? You think that's going to happen anytime soon?
No.
So it's an American base.
Well, plus they need the $4,000.
Yeah, which they won't cash, by the way. They still refuse to cash it.
It's been adding up.
It has. Well,
but I didn't know it's okay.
I had to ask a landlord-tenant attorney on that one because at some point, does it add up, or is it just waived, where you don't owe the money anymore because they refused to take it since 1959? Okay, let's move on. Just a metaphysical question there.
All right, in response to President Donald Trump's executive order banning diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, Pentagon's intelligence agency has paused special defense programs and related events. This includes for Juneteenth, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Black History Month, Holocaust, Days of Remembrance, and Pride Month, according to a memo that ABC
Right,
News
Daddy.
got its hand on. So despite being on the list of the Defense Intelligence Agency's paused events and activities, the memo did clarify that Martin Luther King Jr. Day and Juneteenth will remain federal holidays.
Now, you can't say no to a federal holiday. You have to sort of remember that one. But the rest of them, gone. Native American Remembrance Day, Holocaust Remembrance, I mean, just all of them right down the line. No, thank you. All right, let's go ahead and take a break. We'll come back and continue on with Handel on the News on this Thursday morning.
You're listening to Bill Handel on demand from KFI AM 640.
I will be back after
Visit
the
Riverside,
commercial.
the heart of Southern California.
protecting themselves from Kash Patel. One of the people on Kash Patel's so-called enemies list is moving their family before Patel's potential confirmation to lead the FBI. His confirmation hearings get underway today. The individual who is speaking anonymously says that they are relocating in the coming weeks and taking other steps to keep their new home purchase anonymous. They said they're doing it because they're afraid Patel might weaponize the FBI against them or use his platform to inspire others to take action.
Okay, so let's look at what's going to happen. He writes a book in 2023 entitled Government Gangsters, and it names 50 current or former U.S. officials that he says are, quote, members of the executive branch deep state and are a dangerous threat to democracy. And these are the people that are taking action to not get nailed. Now, when asked about it, his spokesperson said, "You're referring to the glossary of a book." Well, yeah, the glossary of a book puts their names in alphabetical order. That's all it does. How does it change anything? And then, of course, the deflection, Kash Patel will follow the Constitution and enforce the law to take criminals off our streets, fight violent crime, put an end to the deadly fentanyl crisis. Any notion of retribution is false and absurd. Okay, let's go back to, you have called them a dangerous threat to democracy. How about connecting those two? No, he's going to follow the Constitution, and it's fentanyl that's the problem, and taking criminals off our streets. By the way, he is going to, of course, get every single Republican vote. He will be confirmed. It's insane. Coming up at 8:30, RFK, his confirmation hearing, and I'm going to give you a quote from a Republican senator that actually stunned me. And all of this, I'm still able to be stunned. That's astounding. All right.
How could you keep a house unlisted from the FBI?
What you do from the FBI? Yeah, that's true. I mean, you try to do anonymously. You do it through a trust, but they can find it. I mean, the FBI can find who you are. Can you imagine the FBI going after someone? What's going to happen is under the Trump administration, you will see the enemies list, which absolutely exists. I mean, you're not going to see these people arrested, put in handcuffs, walking out of Congress. But I think you're going to see IRS investigations, audits coming down hot and heavy on these people. I think you're going to see a lot of grief. I mean, this president, and through his cabinet picks and his administrative picks, he's big time into retribution.
I hope you're on the list. All right, President Donald Trump signed 2 executive orders on school funding just yesterday that fulfill promises he made on the campaign trail. If you remember, included school choice, ending funding for schools that support what the White House now calls radical indoctrination. Also, on Wednesday, he signed an executive order combating anti-Semitism. The order on school choice, an issue Trump has been pushing for a long time now, could be a huge win for conservative activists and politicians who've been advocating for decades to make it easier for families to spend taxpayer funds on private education.
Yeah, that's been a big issue, separation of church and state, where it was the courts were pretty adamant about saying we are not going to support with taxpayer dollars schools, religious schools, or schools that teach any kind of religion. And so that's turning around, by the way. You're going to see big changes afoot. It's going to screw up the public school education system. On the other hand, the public school education system really does not do a good job. When my kids were enrolled in day school, Jewish day schools, I wanted to put them into Catholic schools, actually, because Catholic schools are so good. If I have a kid and I have a choice between education in a public education or Catholic school or religious education, I'll take the religious one, and not for the religious purposes.
Did my mom feel that way? That's why I went to Catholic school.
It's strictly academic. So
better schools, I guess.
Are they little cashews?
Mom's asses for sure.
That's very strong. It's very strong. Yeah.
So
Go go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to move on, but if you have more to
Yeah,
say.
no, let's move on because we can go forever, and I want to get through some stories.
Okay, so guess who gets to pay? SoCal Edison is asking state regulators to make its customers pay more than $7 billion in damages that it paid to the victims of wildfires. The CPUC is going to consider Edison's request to pass to its ratepayers $1.6 billion in damages from the 2017 Thomas wildfire. That was the one in Santa Barbara and Ventura counties. And then also $5.4 billion in damages from the Woolsey fire in 2018. That was the one that burned through Ventura and LA counties and killed 3 people.
Who else is going to pay? You have to go in front of the PUC, or in this case, you have to go in front of, well, in this case, the PUC, Public Utilities Commission, to be allowed to raise rates. Okay. What if the PUC wasn't allowed, wasn't involved, and you have insurance companies, and they're not regulated? Who is going to pay for the costs to the insurance companies or to the utilities when things burn down? Who's going to have customers pay for it? When's the last time the provider paid for anything that sells and deals with the public? Okay. I mean, I don't know why they make this such a big deal. Of course, the consumer is going to pay. Although they're saying, you know, these billions and billions of dollars, Edison says if both measures are approved, 1.6 billion and 5.4 billion together, the average monthly bill is going to go from $177 to $181, $4. So, you know, $4 is $4.
You're listening to Bill Handel on demand from KFI AM 640.
Do you think she's still in the
Thursday
chair?
morning, January the 30th.
Car
January's
seat?
31 days. I've never been able to figure that out.
No, I
never
heard
have.
about
I
it, yeah.
won't tattoos on my knuckles because everybody thinks I go to prison.
I was
Or
gonna
I
say,
went to
think
prison.
about who her mother
So
is.
January's
Right.
30, January's 31, right?
She's gonna be 15
Got
in
it.
the car
Okay,
seat.
Thank you.
Right.
Now, let's go back and we finish Handle on the news. Amy here, Neil here, and I am here.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Meta Platforms has agreed to pay roughly $25 million to settle a 2021 lawsuit that President Trump brought against the company and its CEO after the social media platform suspended his account. This was, of course, following the attack on the U.S. Capitol that year on January 6th. Of that money, $22 million will go to fund Trump's presidential library, with the rest going to legal fees and the other plaintiffs.
Yeah, but look at the circumstances that led up to this. Right, Trump hates Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg hates Trump. Trump gets elected. Zuckerberg falls right into line with the other tech billionaires. They're standing in line to see who can shove their heads up Trump's butt the quickest and the farthest. And Zuckerberg
Wasn't
was right there.
Zuckerberg saying that the Biden administration leaned on him to put false facts out or not put stuff out
You know, I
prior
don't
to Trump
remember
getting
what
into office?
the Biden administration. No, Biden administration was very hard on disinformation and misinformation, and there was a fight there. And Trump hated Zuckerberg personally, so now, and Zuckerberg took him off of took him off the platform. So he sues. Trump sues, and then it all goes away. And then all of a sudden, you have Zuckerberg sucking up to Trump, having dinner at Mar-a-Lago with Trump, and now they're talking to each other, and basically Trump says, you know what, we're not going further until we get this lawsuit done. I'm suing you, I want it done. 30 seconds later, $25 million, you got it. And $1 million goes to the inauguration festivities, because those are not paid for the government. You know, all the inauguration stuff is not paid for the government. Did you know that? The parade and all that, that's all private.
Wow, we can call him Zuckerberg now, huh?
Good, well put.
Something else. Wow.
And that's the truth.
Will they have trouble coming to America? Maybe. So the World Cup is in less than 500 days, and fans, politicians, and other people involved, including FIFA, the governing body for soccer, are worried that immigration rules and long visa wait times are going to make it hard for supporters and even players to get into the U.S. in time for the World Cup. They say that wait times for interviews for business and tourist visas are up to 330 days at 18 U.S. embassies and consulates. Some of the longest waits are in India, Colombia, Peru, and Honduras. And most fans who are planning to come to the U.S. to watch the World Cup will have less than 6 months to get the necessary paperwork because they haven't announced the schedule yet.
Well, let me tell you what just happened to me and the U.S. government. I am applying for citizenship in Poland, Polish citizenship. So I have a European EU passport. I can do that through my father, who was born in Poland. I need some information from the U.S. State Department. For example, a copy of my naturalization papers, a few other things. So I have someone helping me out. My niece is helping me out. And she's in the middle of this, and she called me and said, the State Department, that department is now shut down. Trump ordered everything shut down. Well, a day, and the website is down. A day later, it opens up. It had been gone 24 hours. The fee for those documents went from $100 to $550 overnight.
There's traffic up here.
Wow.
Just like
Same
that.
traffic is it? Didn't I tell you the other day? I
Good
said this is
morning.
the only place I saw traffic
Welcome, everybody.
going down.
Okay, I think we have
Good
time for one or
night.
two
San
more.
Diego.
All right,
Was
former New Jersey Democrat
California traffic.
Senator Bob Menendez was
They
sentenced
doing road
yesterday to
construction.
11 years in prison. This is following his conviction on bribery and corruption charges after taking cash, a Mercedes-Benz, and my personal favorite, gold bars, as bribes in exchange for helping 3 businessmen and the Egyptian government.
Yeah, he pled not guilty and explained away, I keep gold bars at home just in case the world falls apart. That's what we do, my wife and
That
I.
diesel was
We keep cash,
$4.99.
hundreds of thousands of dollars in our
See.
house, just in
$4.99.
case. The
California
Mercedes
diesel
really
and the
wasn't
gas.
a lease in my name. It was in my
How much
wife's
is the
name, and it has
gas?
nothing to do with all of this pushing for the Egyptian government.
Regular is
and helping them
$4.29.
get some benefits from the U.S. government, plus some businessmen.
So the
who
regular
wanted, some
is like the
waivers,
diesel we
for
just
construction.
Right.
Egyptians, nope, none of that. It
Yeah, he
actually
said he got
happened.
caught up in the pyramid scheme.
God, you're on fire.
Trump lower these gas
You are
prices.
on
That's what you need
fire.
I
to do.
don't think I slept well last night. I almost had a joke about the FIFA foe because I couldn't get it. But
Thank you, sir.
No, very strong today. No, today you are on fire.
Anywho.
And I hate that, by the way. I
I
hate
do
when you
that.
are more clever than I am. So let's not do that
Well,
again, okay?
life must suck for you.
Well, if you keep on going, a quick announcement to make tomorrow and for the rest of the history of this show, Neil will not be with us. And we are now aggressively looking for someone else.
You wouldn't be the first one to cancel me off their show.
Oh, that's true. All right, hold on, I'm about to sneeze. Oh, hold on. God, I hate it when the sneeze is right there on the
Look at a light.
It's even worse when you're listening to it, trust me.
Oh, okay.
Wow. For you.
Uh-oh, we got the sheriff's bus.
All right, coming up, the bad news, the crash
Next to
yesterday,
us.
that collision between a helicopter
Riverside.
and a civilian
You waved at
aircraft.
him?
Yeah, he waved at me. Yeah.
Could it have been averted? And a whole bunch of other questions about aviation in the U.S. We'll be back with that. You've been listening to the Bill
I like
Handel
how they
Show.
got
Catch my show
all
Monday
those-
through Friday, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. and anytime on demand on the iHeartRadio app.
Look at the sheriff's bus.
Original, or are we
Lady
talking
man.
about the
Riverside County Sheriff. Sheriff.
I am a Lay's sour cream and onion.
Don't get on that bus, y'all.
I love those chips. I only eat them alone.
So bad.
Also, other Lay's chips that I'm gonna
But they
add
got a
are
nice
the
bus.
barbecue flavored potato chips. Also, only eat those alone. There's the Flamin' Hot. There's the cheddar sour cream. There's the salt and vinegar.
Texas,
I love
take
those.
notes.
They don't get into the details. They don't get into the
They got
details.
them
Like, if
old
I want- if it's
school
rice,
buses,
I'm
jail
at home, I
buses.
stop at the market. I pick up a bag of
Motherfuckers take
all I'm wanting to do.
Take notes.
In secret.
They not taking over this bus.
Is it gonna kill me?
You don't have an allergy to milk.
or sensitivity to milk.
No, but if it's bad milk, it won't go down well.
The recalled chips are in flexible 13-ounce bags, just the little baby bags, distributed in Oregon and Washington specifically.
13 ounces in a baby bag, is it?
But it's not one of these bags.
It's not?
One of the family-size bags, which
A
is
baby
not a
bag.
family.
Yesterday.
5 to 6 ounces?
I don't know.
Do you know there's a dill chip flavored potato chip?
The affected bags have a guaranteed fresh date of February 11th. They said.
So what's the name of that island again out there? I never knew that we had a prison,
Guantanamo Bay.
Guantanamo Bay,
Guantanamo
Bay,
Bay.
and it's by Cuba.
Yeah, it's owned by
So
Cuba.
when we was in the Florida Keys and I was looking at Cuba from the Keys River when I had the binoculars looking, cause you can't see that island.
I don't know if that was it.
They were saying it was it.
They were
All
saying
them,
that was Guantanamo Bay?
No, they were saying that
Oh, I
was
thought you-
Cuba. So it
Oh.
has to be right up in there somewhere
Yeah,
on them islands.
Cuba's 90 miles
From there,
from Florida.
yeah, 90 miles from Florida. So yeah, that was it. So it's over there. Ooh-wee. It's bad enough being in prison when you on the island, though. Oh, that's scary. You always knew about that prison? No, I guess being in the military, huh?
Yeah, and you know, you heard about it like in school and stuff.
No, I didn't.
No?
No. Mm. I was today years old finding that out.
Oh. You gotta look them up on your phone. You get the history behind it. There was a movie with Jack Nicholson. Not Full Metal Jacket. Remember the guys, they were going on trial, and Jack Nicholson, the famous line is, "You can't handle the truth." You remember that movie? And Kevin Bacon was in the movie, Demi Moore,
That's
Tom Cruise.
okay. Only people I know is Demi Moore and Tom Cruise. The other people
And
you
do you remember he was in the Navy, and he was a lawyer in the Navy, and he was defending. It was a black dude and a white dude, and they had I forgot what it's called. It's called a red something. Who ordered the? Boy, I guess you got to see them. If you,
Yeah, I gotta see it. Maybe we could watch it soon.
Yeah, but that movie was based on out of Guantanamo Bay.
Why this gotta be California Avenue right here? Like we want to ride down California Avenue. Really? That's how they do us?
I think it only goes to the traffic to the trash disposal site. It's on the right hand side, if I can remember. It goes down there.
All right, let's go.
Oh, I stopped it because
Have the Lay's
I already
potato
heard
chips,
this one.
and
This was
you have a
yesterday.
nut
I didn't hear.
or lactose sensitivity. This may be what they're talking about. It may be sounding the warning for you. Be careful. Be careful with them chips, people.
13 ounces is the party size, bro. That's like the Super Bowl size.
Is it really?
Yeah.
No, I'm just.
You're not a big
She
shop.
would know.
Okay.
She's a chip
Here it
eater.
comes again.
It's okay.
Are you in cahoots with my wife now? I'll go to the grocery store.
We don't want you to.
Yeah,
It's a
clearly.
waste of time.
Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny?
You're British now.
Isn't it funny?
You're British now.
You people
You people.
You people go shopping for something, right? And it takes you forever.
That is not true.
You go to the grocery store and you're like a stealth ninja, in and out. Nobody even notices you there. If
I'm
I
like
go
that.
shopping for something,
Yeah, I'm like-
clothing-wise,
yeah.
I'm in and out.
Me too. I've always been like that with clothes. I'm not a big clothes. I don't enjoy shopping for clothes.
But if I go to the grocery store, I'm up and down every aisle.
Yeah,
At least twice.
because you're compromised
You just looked at
mentally.
my head.
Yeah.
You looked at my head.
Because there's something about the grocery store. Maybe it's just because you don't go often enough to know where everything is.
We need to clean this.
Oh. Fine. We'll talk about it later.
We'll talk about the Fire Aid benefit concert that comes up. I will remember this. We'll talk about the Fire Aid benefit concert that's coming up tomorrow down in Inglewood at both the Intuit Dome and the Intuit Dome
I
and
like
the Kia
the
Forum.
Dome.
Gary and Shannon
Sounds
will
dangerous.
continue right after that. You've been listening to the Gary
She's
and
something
Shannon
else.
Show. You can always hear us live on KFI AM 649
Oh
every
my
1 p.m. every
gosh.
Monday through Friday. And
Hello.
And welcome to Murder. That's Georgia Hardstar. That's Karen Kilgara. And this is my favorite murder. Did we say that part already? I think that's part of it. But
I
it's
thought
always
I
good
was
to remind
listening to the
people.
Gary
I
Shannon
heard
show.
double introing your podcast shoot you up to the top.
That I didn't
Like,
hear.
what all the influencers are doing. It's just like double cleansing with Korean skincare. Can I start with a really embarrassing corrections corner that I've been now waiting 2 weeks. Yes, please. To correct. That's like so embarrassing.
Sounds on point.
Remember when I covered the British murder a couple weeks back?
Susan Owen here from OPO Law. What is the OPO Law difference? 50 years experience versus practicing law. Litigators versus set it and forget it. Success in the multi-millions versus
and co-founder of the Watch Duty app, which has been so beneficial to us, not just providing you with information, up-to-date information on the fires, but for us because we live in the evacuation zones as well. I forgot to mention this to the CEO who we spoke with, John Clark Mills, but our friend Michael texted us and said, I do management for FedEx here in Arizona. I've used the Watch Duty app for a long time now because there are two paths for the trucks to get to northern and the eastern part of the areas. There's always highway closures that happen because of the roadside fires. Gives us a heads up on whether to.
They probably going to
reroute the
RJD.
trucks. So thank you.
Also,
Yeah.
it's
I'm
not your
trying to picture
imagination.
what
It is
prison
cold. National
is
Weather
this
Service
way.
actually issued a
Yeah.
warning for
It's
cold
only that one
overnight
this way, huh?
temperatures that
Think
could
so?
pose a risk for hypothermia. Temperatures
they were going to
throughout
LA, they
County
would've
dipped
went
into the 20s
back
last
all
night.
the way down to 60
In fact,
or something.
highs only going to be in the 50s in a few areas. Temperatures as low as mid-20s. They said again
Down to
tomorrow
10.
morning, especially up in the Antelope Valley.
iHeart could not be prouder of the response when it comes to how our communities and our firefighters, police, everyone responded to the fires that swept through our area, caused so much devastation. And it's very exciting that tomorrow they're going to have a fire aid benefit concert.
Joining us now to talk more about this incredible lineup and this pretty huge task of getting these two venues and all of these stars together. Ellen Kay from the Coast 103.5 Morning Show. Thanks for coming down.
Thanks for having me. I'm scared to be here.
Why?
I can't tell when you guys are live and when you're not.
Oh.
And so we were hanging out and we were saying some things, and I'm like, oh, I hope these microphones aren't on. We were talking about Cardi B and her new
kind of a
piercing.
crapshoot in here anyway.
She's got a piercing on her bottom.
No.
That looks like it causes so many problems, but we were getting into that. But let's get into the
Okay, let's
benefit
get into
concert.
this. Fire aid.
It's so nice having you here, by the way.
Thank you for having me, guys.
This is great.
I just want to
You
say,
have a sense of maple and sweetness.
I know, it
And
smells
like-
so good here when
Yeah.
Ellen Kay is
Do you have
here.
candles upstairs?
no, well,
Something is
We sound like
No,
dumpster.
thank
We
you.
smell like dumpster people.
oh, you guys.
Is what we need to work on.
My husband's obsessed with both of you.
Oh, how
Yeah.
sweet.
He listens all the time.
Tomorrow night,
Yeah.
both the Intuit Dome in Inglewood and then the
So
Kia
is
Forum,
mine.
just a short distance north of there, are going to host these.
Hi,
this incredible show.
Simply
Who's
Blended
going to be involved in
Life.
all of this?
All right, so Kia Forum kicks it off
How
first,
are
and then
you?
Intuit Dome a little bit later on. But we've got Rod Stewart, Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, Gwen Stefani was confirmed as just herself, and now No Doubt has jumped in, so
Oh, wow.
she's going to perform with them.
Good.
Jelly Roll is not going
We're
to be
taking
there.
a trip to San Diego.
Read this list,
I have a little story about it. But,
and you'll see
Red
why I
Hot
gotta
Chili
stop
Peppers,
and pick
Stevie
up
Nicks.
something on the way down.
Stevie
So,
Nicks
Okay.
alone.
I mean, Sting and Tate McRae and Stevie Wonder.
This is incredible.
This
I
is
told her to make a
I mean,
list.
this is a who's who of American music for the last 60 years, probably.
It really is. And you know, look, let's talk about Rod Stewart. He's been touring the world. He's constantly performing.
Chocolate
He just turned
pancakes.
80.
I've seen him in concert.
What is
in
chocolate
Vegas,
pancakes?
and,
With
he
chocolate
can
chips in
move.
it?
Probably, but
Even at the
keep
age
on
of 80.
going.
Yeah, even at the age
That
of 80.
ain't
So
what
he's
I
like
want you
going
to
from
see. You'll see
show
it
tomorrow
when we
morning.
get into it.
And he is stopping everything to be there. So I love seeing all the artists being friends with each other. Billie Eilish, she's got the Grammys on Sunday. She's the most nominated, and she's going to be at the Intuit Dome. And then Earth, Wind, and Fire. If you have an original Earth, Wind, and Fire concert T-shirt, I don't know, like from your parents or from your travels or
And
whatever,
I can have
it's
a
worth
bag
like
of chips.
$300.
Did she say you could bring some chocolates and flowers?
Flowers, that was.
Yeah, that are worth a lot of money. They're on.
Yeah.
She wants some chocolate and flowers. Oh, these grandkids is getting expensive.
I said I'll bring my granddaughter some flowers.
Right, you gotta get some chocolate. Oh, what's up? What's up? What's up? Oh, he had me reading our grandbaby's list. We going to pick her up, and she got a list for all the stuff she want. She put any candy.
You should have heard what
Any candy.
her mom texted me this morning.
Human being, for one thing.
And they don't know about the list.
And there's only a
They didn't know about it until I sent it to them because they were like, and if she asks for candy, she eats any damn candy. Don't let her.
Don't let her have
They
it.
said if you want her, you seen her, but imagine her with candy. She's on 10 then.
But I did read a comment that someone posted.
Wow.
And said that's how Hawaiians are. They're low key about shouting out to.
I don't know because who's in
Well, I said
line
I
in
treat my
Hawaii? Probably
granddaughter like a
tourists,
man
right?
is supposed
Right.
to treat her.
So she'll know, like, look, come on now, my grandfather used to get me flowers. You can't do that.
and then the favors to have some of these performers come in or just coordinate the production value of not just
It should be it.
I hope so.
tonight, but instead of TV, it's going to be streaming. The production of two different spaces like that, all these different artists, equipment changes between artists and things like that.
We were talking about how I used to listen to you and Ryan when I first moved to LA every morning driving here to this radio
Thank you,
station.
Shannon.